Alright, before we get into this Art of War 3 battle, just want to highlight our opponents for this battle. This is a rank 20 resistance player with multiple medals, and we've got a rank 19 player with a 61% win rate. Let's go ahead and get into this battle. Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, John Cena, and today we're going to be doing another Clan 2v2 battle. I'm going to be the green Confederate player. My allied Bullet 82 MK2 is going to be the blue Confederate player. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be having a very exciting matchup here. We got some early game action unfolding on the battlefield as Bullet and I fight to secure those large resource containers. So overall, we did a pretty good job with scouting overall. You can see I'm starting to produce some units there. My plan is to go for the full ground build, while Bullet's going to go for aviation mixed with ground. And we can see that we're getting a nice scout onto the resistance player bases. Red is teching up to HQ4. That's a little bit of a bug there with the replay, but Red was teching up to HQ4 when I scouted them. Yellow, meanwhile, is HQ3, but going for mass coyotes. This is a questionable build considering that this player is rank 19, so a possible rush coming from the yellow player. Red definitely knows what they're doing. They're going straight for some nice base development. Here comes the yellow player. Yellow's got tons of coyotes. Thankfully, I predicted this, so I've got a few hammer tanks to help with the defense, but I need to be a little bit careful. There is a lot of coyotes in the mix here, and I need to make sure that I micro my hammer tanks carefully so they don't get surrounded. Bullets coming in with some nice air support from the Vertex. The Vertex dishing out some good damage against the coyotes, and with a combination of tanks and jets, we are able to repel the rush pretty nicely. Meanwhile, we can see that Red is continuing to tech up here, most likely going for a JCP mix of some kind. We see multiple assault vehicle factories going up for Jaguar production, and we see that special vehicle factory being upgraded. And so we can see for my counter, I'm going to go for mass hammer tanks. I'm trying to get enough ground units out to help with the defense, but eventually I'm going to need to transition towards HQ4 to get a shield generator out. So we can see Bullet scores a nice hit on that special vehicle factory. That factory is very heavily armored though. I tell Bullet to score a hit on the Dragonfly. That Dragonfly is going to get cleaned up. That's going to allow me to secure that large resource container. I need all the resources I can get now so that I can catch up to the red player. So we got a pretty big army at this point, about 60 command points. We see Bullet here just harassing that yellow player. Looks like Bullet is going to go for that supply center. Supply center does get cleaned up. That's going to temporarily cripple the yellow player's economy. Looks like some more damage being dished onto another supply center by those jets, and it looks like Bullet is going to retreat at this time. So just continuing to tech up here and build my army up. We see Red getting a scout, nice scout from the red player. We see coyotes just roaming the battlefield from the yellow player. Bullet looks like is HQ4 already, so Bullet's probably going to go for some doors. We get a scout onto Red. Red's got triple assault vehicle factories for Jaguar tanks, one special vehicle factory for Porcupines, and one for Chameleons. So as I suspected, JCP army is going to be hitting us pretty hard pretty soon here. So we can see the Vertex from Bullet are scoring some nice hits onto those coyotes. I tell Bullet I'm going to hit Red pretty soon here. I don't think we can leave Red alive. Red looks like they know what they're doing. And I've got pretty close to full command points. Here comes a JCP army moving in. Shield generator gets turned on, and this is the first major engagement of the battle. Gold vehicle attack boost gets thrown on, and this is when I first realized that we are in trouble. My hammer tanks are getting shredded by this resistance army, and I have maxed hammer tanks for my rank. And we can see just how many casualties I'm taking. There's lots of grenadiers, lots of infantry mixed together with those Jaguar tanks. And just like that, I've lost almost 60 command points worth of units. Thor's coming in for Bullet. They score a nice direct hit on the ground army there. I'm trying to fight it out here, but it's just a ton of grenadiers. These grenadiers are really strong, and my hammer tanks are just not equipped to fight the grenadiers. I need some fire assaults in the mix there. Vertex coming in to continue to harass the ground armies from the resistance side. Looks like both red and yellow combined together for a mass assault here, and I cannot defend this alone. I'm rapidly running out of ground troops here. I'm down to only 30 command points. Red's got a really scary looking army moving in now. Lots of Jaguar tanks and Chameleon as well. And I'm throwing a gold common defense boost. And those Jaguar tanks are maxed. They are just shredding my hammer tanks. I tell Bullet I need help. Bullet is on his way right now, bringing in Zeus tanks and Torrents. And it looks like the Jaguar tanks are trying to find some good positioning to work with. Looks like the Jaguar tanks are not going to fully commit though. Bullet's tanks have arrived. They don't have enough Chameleon support to camouflage, so Jaguar tanks and Zeus tanks head to head when fully maxed. Zeus tanks will beat Jaguar tanks. So gold supply boost gets thrown on. I am down to less than 30 command points of units here, so I need to rebuild my ground army. We see that the resistance side was able to capture that large resource container. Luckily, I was able to secure 2 of those resource boxes, but I am going to lose a unit, so I am going to lose one of those resource boxes to the resistance side. And we can see I'm just starting to incorporate more fire assaults into the mix along with my hammer tanks just to deal with any future grenadiers. And here comes another Chameleon army. Red's already got another full army. This is absolutely ridiculous. The speed at which Red can rebuild is just mind-boggling. And we can see this full army is moving in, and those Jaguar tanks are just shredding my ground army. I just do not have the numbers to counter this Red player's Chameleon army. I am rapidly losing my units. Bullet can obviously see that I am not doing well here. Thor is coming in from Bullet, direct hit on the Chameleon army. We still see a lot of Jaguar tanks from the Red player. Red's going to deploy at the top of my base there and start to chew through my base here. So I'm going to lose a supply center, also going to lose a power plant. Bullet is trying so hard to defend me right now. Zeus tanks are coming in to help out. Torrents are coming in. And we can see that I'm going to lose another AV factory, another supply center as well, and another supply center. So multiple supply centers and a power plant are down, but Red knows they cannot sustain the assault. There's too many Zeus tanks from Bullet to help with the defense, but we are not doing good right now. We need to try and rebuild. So I'm going to use a gold reconstruction boost and just drop down infrastructure to get myself back into the game as quickly as possible. And so thankfully I still had that gold reconstruction boost, so I can quickly rebuild all my economy. And we can see there's Thor's directly hitting that special vehicle factory, and Thor's hitting the assault vehicle factory. And 2 Thors, rank 20, are not able to take out that special vehicle factory. That tells us that Red is very well upgraded with their infrastructure. So this Dragonbite just continuing to harass us, trying to be annoying. Vertex coming in for Bullet. Bullet is going to go straight for that special vehicle factory. We need to finish the factory off. Really nice pickup. Good micro from Bullet. Bullet's going to swing in there, take out the factory, and then retreat. So much needed pickup for us. I've got 5 to 6 factories going, just trying to pump out my ground army as fast as possible. I've got the 8 supply centers, but if I get attacked again, it's going to be very hard to come back. So just trying to rebuild as fast as possible. Thor's moving in for Bullet. Bullet exerting that pressure. He's going to take out both Avia factories from Red. Looks like Red's trying to transition away from a ground build and towards an aviation build with mass hawks. And we can see that there's a lot of porcupines in the center of the map there for some nice map control from the Red player. So I got a lot of hammer tanks. I'm going to try and counter, try to see if we can secure the center of the map here. I've got a decent sized army, so I'm going to try to risk it and go for a direct engagement here. Let's see how this pans out. Hawks are moving in for the defense. We see a Chameleon army, lots of infantry in the mix there. And I just do not have enough fire assaults to counter. I actually don't have any fire assaults in that army. And here comes the yellow player. Yellow now coming in to help with the defense using their dragonflies. And that was not a good trade on my part. I have lost a ton of my ground army. Now I need to retreat. And this is not looking good. I'm pretty much out of resources. I don't have anything to effectively counter this yellow player's ground army. So yellow's going to push me all the way back to my base here. And we can see I'm just gradually trying to accumulate more hammer tanks and more vehicles. Vertex coming in from Bullet. They're going to score a direct hit on the Dragonflies there, but Bullet is going to lose a Vertex there. Hawks are coming in from the red player, but I've got a few Typhoons for defense, which is good. Otherwise, red would just rip my ground army apart. So we try a change of tactics here. I tell Bullet to try and hit the yellow player. If we can make this into a 1v2, I think that'll improve our odds significantly. So Bullet's got a pretty sizable ground army here. We see Zeus tanks, Torrents, and a few Typhoons. Thors are softening up the ground army with those bombs there. So Yellow's going to have to replenish their ground army. Meanwhile, I'm just continuing to rebuild my ground army. I've almost got full command points at this time. And now Bullet's going to launch his assault here. We see the Zeus tanks and the Torrents moving in. Lots of Dragonflies in the mix there. It's not full-on spam, though, so Bullet's got enough coverage between the Zeus tanks and the Typhoons. And now here's the ground army moving in from Yellow. Yellow's got lots of infantry. Hawks coming in from the red player. Red's now trying to assist their ally in the defense. And I actually don't think this is a good idea from the red player, and you will see in a little bit why. But Bullet is continuing to press with the heavy armor, and those Grenadiers are just struggling to take out these Zeus tanks. So Bullet's not going to tell me to attack. He tells me to attack the red player. This is a really good call from Bullet, and I think that's a big part of what helped us win the game. So now I'm going to throw on a gold vehicle scout boost. And here we go. We're just going to get my hammer tanks into the base. If we can get into the red player's base, we can do some wicked damage. Airfields get cleaned up by the Thors. And now red is in huge trouble. Red does not have the ground troops to counter the hammer tanks. My hammer tanks are now just decimating the inside of the red player's base. There's a chameleon army in the back, but that is just not going to be enough. I am rapidly losing units though, but I've got plenty of resources to replenish. Those Hawks though do not have a place to dock, and they're going to run out of fuel and start to fly off the map pretty soon here. Bullet meanwhile is continuing to just press onto the yellow player. This is not looking good. My Typhoons are shredding the Hawks as they come out of that Avia factory, and my hammer tanks are just continuing to slowly decimate the right-hand side of this red player's base. We're going to take care of that special vehicle factory. Factory goes down. No more chameleons. Meanwhile, Bullet's doing a really good job just cleaning up this yellow player's base, and we can see just how quickly the tide of battle has turned. It is now pretty much good game at this point. I have about 70 command points worth of units, and we can see red is essentially given up. Red is no longer making units or any defensive structure to try and counter. Yellow is still making a couple units here and there, but that's really not going to cut it against Bullet's army. Alright, this is pretty much a good game at this point. The rest of this battle is just me and Bullet cleaning up the respective bases. That was a really intense fight here overall. Hopefully you all enjoyed this battle. We will see you in the next one. Until then, good luck with your battles.